So we made it to the end of week 4 for BIO259, and we covered a lot of stuff this week. In particular, we covered embryogenesis and also the 3 different germ layers. With embryogenesis, right, we talked about the tube within a tube, right, the coelomic space and the coelom in general. We also talked about cleavage, right, taking a single cell, a single zygote, splitting it multiple times to finally get a multicellular blastocyst eventually. And then at the very end of that lecture, we also started talking about implantation, right? What do you actually do to get that zygote implanted into a uterus? We also then today covered the 3 different germ layers, right? So we had the endoderm that's going to make the inner linings of our body, the mesoderm that is made of mesenchymal cells that are super spread out and become different structures. And then we also talked about the ectoderm in terms of the structures that make the outer body wall and eventually make the brain and the spinal cord. So to get these 3 different structures, we also talked about a process known as gastrulation. So definitely make sure that you look over our notes to know the difference between gastrulation and ingression. And then the last thing that we talked about was actually organogenesis. And for the clip of the week, I prepared an AI-generated podcast for you all. So that was trained all on today's lecture transcripts. So make sure that you take a look at that. And then finally, in terms of what's coming up, we do have a lab practical next week. So make sure that you're studying long bones, make sure you're studying the skull, and I will include a short little video showing you some of the foramen that we have in the skull. All right, that is basically all that I have for you for this week. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you week 5.